Was it a good one? Oh, it's only going to get better. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate you. If it's your first time being part of the Stanbic Bank Jacaranda Music Business Conference, thank you so much for being part of this experience. We really appreciate you. If you have no idea what the facility is like, well, let me help you out. If you need the restrooms, to my right, to your left, if you go down the basement and you just follow the sign that says lose, you will find the facilities, and we also have facilities outside, just outside that door. That's to my left, your right. If you go outside, there are facilities over there. You can make use of those. We'll have lunch. We'll break for lunch at about 12:30, and you're all welcome for lunch. So we'll have lunch outside. It'll be served, and feel free to go grab something. It's absolutely on us. So feel free to grab some of that when the time comes. And we'll have a speed networking session a little later with a twist. So make sure you get your business cards ready. You get everything you need in order, right? Now, we have 2 more sessions to go before we break for lunch. We have the future of live sound technology, where we're exploring innovations in sound engineering, immersive audio, and audio experiences. And also we'll have an education, capacity building, and training session where we are trying to figure out how we can bridge the gap between academia and the industry. Now, for this session, where we are focusing specifically on the future of live sound and technology, exploring innovations in sound engineering, immersive audio, and visual experiences, help me welcome from Events Evolution, Tatenda Rushwai. And also with him is the systems tech and sound engineer for Events Evolution as well, and Delani Kachepa. And all the way from Spain, I hope I say his name right, Adoipe. You have to teach me how to say your name, right? You have to teach me how to say your name. Did I say it correctly? No? Idoipe. Hey, there we go. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this incredible platform. Where we're exploring the future of live sound technology, exploring innovations in sound engineering, immersive audio, and visual experiences. And I know for a fact that all of you guys are accomplished in that space, and I'm super excited about the insights that you're going to provide within that space. But just for context's sake, for someone who's new to the room, I would just give an opportunity. Tatenda, I'll start with you. If you could just tell us some of the work that you are doing as Events Evolution into the event space, within sound, within visuals, the visual experiences, and a lot of that wrapped around that. If you could just give us an overview of some of the work that you guys are doing as Events Evolution.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. For me, I'm used to work behind the scenes. So, yeah, you know.
You're doing fine.
Yeah,
you're doing all right.
They had to pull me to come in front, but it's okay. I have 15 years
Wait,
in this industry.
May you please just take his mic up so that we can hear him?
Okay, so I was saying I have 15 years in this industry, and Events Evolution is turning 10 years this year. We have done quite a lot of work, hundreds of events. We have worked with Benna Boy, we have worked with Ja Praiser, Everton Mlalazi, you name them, Janet Manyoa. So our goal as Events Evolution is trying to bring out what you see out there, right, in other countries, bring out in Zimbabwe, because we are a bit back, right, because of technology and everything. We are behind, so we are trying.
How bad is it? How behind we are?
To be honest, it's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. Yeah, I can tell you. every time we do an event, an international event, it's a struggle. Why it's a struggle is they have what they are using in their countries. You can't find it here, right? They don't care that they are going to perform in Africa, so maybe they can request this keyboard that costs about 60,000. Who is going to buy a keyboard for 60,000 here in Zimbabwe? Yeah, and how are you going to bring back that money, right? So that's bad. I can say it's bad. It's really bad, yeah.
No. And Delani, if you could just chip in from a sound engineering perspective, how bad it is or how good it is, so that we can have an overview. Because sometimes we don't understand. We are good at pointing fingers why our concerts are not looking as good as the Bruno Mars concert, or we're good at saying why are the NAMA Awards not looking great as the Grammy Awards, but we don't understand how just that space works. So, Ndelani, how is it?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ndelani Kachepa. I've been with events for 15 years as well with them. So it all comes back to the budget. That's where everything lies around. Because people have expectations, but they don't have the budget for that. We can try to use whatever we have to get close to what you ask for in that budget, but obviously it's going to be limited. We cannot do magic at the end of the day. So it's really, really bad. Very bad. So some of the things that people see on TV and what they expect, it doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come cheap. So on a business perspective, let's say you're an investor, it's quite challenging for you to invest in such equipment when you might not even get your money back. So yeah, it's really bad.
So I've had the privilege to have a conversation with David Mwale, and he was explaining to me how he's bought over the years certain pieces of equipment that he never used again, but because a certain international artist had said, I want this motif, FX, what, and he had to go buy it because they needed it. Or just a certain type of microphone that he never gets to use again because no one is using that again. We will speak about that a little later on, how we can navigate the space, industry, technology, and how we can catch up and be part of this great evolution. But I just wanted to make sure that I have gotten everything about the work you've been doing as Events Evolution. If you could just add to that. And Delani, is there anything you want to add to that?
I think, yeah, I can add a lot, but Tatenda, I said all. We've been, I don't know if I can say we've been like on the top. Like when doing events, I think we've been doing the best, and hopefully we've been doing the best, and even working with a limited budget, but whatever we do, like a small event, as Events Evolution, we try to do top notch. No matter what the budget is, no matter what's happening, the situation is. So our goal is excellence. We've worked with, as you heard from Tatenda, Burna Boy, Joyous Celebration, Everton Mlalazi. I think we've worked with everyone, be it like locally. So yeah, that's it.
I love that. I have a lot that I really want us to unpack, especially in the space where we now have the technology, because when the technology is coming out, it's coming out for everyone, and how we can catch up with that. But we'll come back to that. Diobe, I just want to, if you could just give us a behind-the-curtain idea of some of the work that you've done over the years in the space of live music, sound engineering, audio, events, visual experiences, and that kind of thing.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry for my English. I don't practice all the time, so I try to explain better I can. I'm an artist. I use engineering all the time. I think it's constantly evolution, and I think there is so many options, cheaper, free, and I think an artist that not in the top can make music and express they feel with music with elements cheaper than others. I think maybe with a Roland so expensive sounds better, but if you can make music with a cheapest piano, you can do whatever. No, I think. And I use my computer with DAB, is audio converter, I think. And I make all the sounds I can, and I do all the instruments, that drums, that keys, strings, guitars, my voice. I take processors that it would be so expensive in the music studio, but I have so cheaper in my computer. And I think you will see in Sunday I make a full concert, but I only have a computer and a little hardware with pads and a launch pad, and I play the stands, and I sing and play the guitar, and I rent a guitar here, but I don't want a big guitar or something like that. I use whatever I have, and I let's do it. So I don't know if I answer.
No, you
Well,
did a big part of why we structured this panel the way we did is that it's a clash of two worlds,
Okay.
right? There's the world where things are moving and they're changing. Then there's the world where we just need to do the basic, and we're still going to get the result, right? But how do we harmonize the two worlds is, I guess, what we're getting to. And I think I'll throw this question to you and Delani, that if you could give us an overview of the evolution of just sound technology over the past few years, because you've been at it for the last 15 years, and I'm sure you've seen things evolve and change. What has really evolved and changed, and how does this impact the artist?
Like, nowadays we are more into immersive sound. We need to create a space where you feel like you're on stage or you are part of the act. So, like you see here, we have a speaker here, we have a speaker here, but now we're using surround systems. You might need 5 times the number of speakers in here just to do that. And it's no longer just about, let's say, the artist just recording audio just the way they used to do, but you now need to create your music in spatial audio, in immersive sound. So producers now have to know how to use Dolby Atmos and etc., etc. So for us to, even if we do a setup for immersive sound, if you produced your music not in immersive sound, it's not going to make a difference.
If you can just, what is immersive sound? Because a lot of the times we throw out all these terms, and sometimes they're flying over people, and we don't really understand what immersive sound is. What is immersive sound? What is spatial audio? And so that we can understand what you mean by that. from just a layman's perspective, and how we can also tap into that.
Okay. Immersive sound is like what it says, immersive. You need to be immersed in the music. Like, if you're seeing a performance, you need to feel like you're in it, you're part of it. Not like somebody who's just listening or just, what can I say? Looking at what some people are doing, but you need to be in it. You need to feel like you're in it, you're part of the music or part of anything that's happening. That's immersive sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to add on with the evolution of sound. So 8 years ago, I was with the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi. So we asked him about his song, There's a Cough. I think it's right direction. There's a cough he makes in the middle of the song. I asked him, was it a mistake? What happened? And he said, no, it was a mistake. Why? During that time, right, they would only get studio time maybe after 3 months. So if you make a mistake, you were going to correct that mistake after 3 months. And they were only using, I think, 3 or 4 channels, right? But in 2024, right, you have this video that was trending on social media, Pira Denti, right? And after 2 days, you hear the track is now playing on radio, right? So that's the evolution. Remember, in 1978, they had to wait for 3 months to redo that part. So they decided just to let it go like that. So the sound has evolved so much. But when it comes here to Zim or to Africa, the evolution is a bit slower. I think it also comes to budget-wise, and when it comes to Zimbabwe, everything is just expensive. So for me to import something, right, I need big monies to do that. At the same time, because it's a business, I need to charge my client also. So they end up complaining, no, you guys are expensive. But their requirements also, they are expensive. So I think that's the main issue we have. We are moving slower because those things are very expensive. Yeah, we can't really blame the artists because they want the ticket sales also. So for us to bring in what they want, let's say I charge them 50,000 to do a show, right? For like my sister here, I asked her to pay me 50,000. If she pays me 50,000, the ticket sale to get into her show must be around $60 to $100. Maybe for if she's going to get 5,000 people to retain the money. So yeah, I think we have a lot to do. I think with the National Arts Council, we have a conversation we have to do with National Arts Council so that they can help everyone, us as service providers and artists, in terms of funding. Because what we need to match other countries is money.
So if I'm getting you correctly, yeah. I thought us having the technology meant we didn't need to get the most expensive equipment in the room. Correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the day, you used to need a certain type of desk for you to record a certain type of artist. For example, the example you're mentioning about Dr. Mtukudzi. Yeah. But now I can record 100 times the quality in my bedroom. I don't even need a booth. I just need the shield and a lot of that. How does technology play a part in cutting some of those costs and allow us to catch up with the rest of the world without necessarily spending on that level?
Okay, on that one, I think it's a bit different. So the technology, you can record in your bedroom, right? You can do whatever you want to do. But there are certain platforms you can't play your audio there. Right? You can't then send your audio to iTunes, right, with that poor quality, right? So what you need is proper equipment to do that. I can give you an example. Benaboy has a rake. I think it's bigger like this. When he's singing, his voice is being processed before you hear it, right? If he makes a mistake, let's say he was singing in key A, then he makes a mistake, he goes to B. That processor will correct that. So to buy that processor, right?
No, that's why it sounds so amazing,
yeah,
right?
To buy the processor now, you need about 60,000 to buy that.
So out of curiosity, did you buy the processor?
No, he has his own.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so you see, we usually struggle with artists. So they are using, maybe we are giving an artist, let's say Jacaranda, we are giving him an SM58, a microphone, right? But he wants there's this new technology that is there. Maybe he wants an agent mic, right? I don't have that mic. So the same artist now will then complain, right, that I want this mic, I want to use this mic because they have seen the mic being used by someone, but not knowing the price of that mic, right? So you expect a service provider to bring out that mic to give you to sing. So the challenge is we will have this discussion, but we will all come back to money. Because everything, where the technology is going, it's money. You have to buy that thing. So an artist, other mistakes, which other mistakes I can give you that can happen, right? You know the system of in-ear monitoring, right? Most of the countries, name it UK, USA, they no longer use wedges, those front monitors, right? They are now using in-ear monitors, right? Mm-hmm. So we are being kept in this environment, like in Zimbabwe. So if an artist come from Zimbabwe, because they don't have this experience with the in-ear system, they go to perform in UK, right, where there is no monitors on stage. They can't use an in-ear monitor because it's confusing if you haven't used it before. It's confusing. So all I'm saying is for an artist to buy that in-ear monitor pack, right, you need about 4,000 or 5,000 to invest in that. So is the artist going to get it from the gate takings? No. That's why I'm keeping on saying we are a bit behind, and our being behind is not always about we don't want, but it's all about money.
Now, you want to add something? Because I wanted to get to Diope real quick.
Okay, yeah. I think also there's an issue of self-development when it comes to this thing as well. It's not just about the budget and stuff. Like, if you're serious about your art, there are certain things that you can do on your own. Let's say, like there are musicians that have their own in-ears. It's not cheap, yes, but it's something that you can work on. They buy their own mic. For me, and him as well, there's a software that I use for sound. To buy that software, it costs about $20,000, but you don't even know it when I'm using it. I'm trying to make your art or your performance be on another level but I'm using my own budget just because it's going to help me as well. So I think we also need to get to that level that we personally, we invest in our art, we invest in our craft, not just look upon providers and stuff.
Now, Ethiopia, I'm going to come to you real quick. Sound plays a big part in your presentation. Now, can you talk about the collaboration with the sound engineer and how important that is in bringing out the best of your performance in the experience that you provide as an artist?
That's really key to anything, because whatever you need to come out there, you play your role, I play my role. And if there's no communication, and it's like, I think it's 70% of that in Zimbabwe, there's no link, there's no communication between the artist and us engineers. We don't even know what they want. And the bad thing about it is that most artists don't even know what they want. They just tell you the sound is not nice. Okay, it's not nice. What can I do? What do you want? They don't know. Why? But let's say there was someone else performing before, and they were happy, very happy with the sound. Yes. And when they come on stage, they're like, it's not nice, but it was perfect for the previous person. So you have to tell me, you have to know what you want. But yeah, so that's why you see, like, if a band is on stage, same settings, same everything, we change the band, it's night and day. So most people think that it's engineers, but we play 30% in that role.
Do you know what I always find fascinating when I go to festivals? That bands are coming one after the other. Just how much the performance, you can tell it's the same keyboard the last guy was sitting on. It just sounds so brilliant than the last guy. Yeah. And it's the same sound engineer, it's the same everything, and it all comes down to the artist, knowing what they want and how it brings out what they want. Yeah. Now, the good thing about this is we actually have an artist on stage. Please take us through the journey of just communicating what you want to the sound engineer and how that collaboration works.
Part of that, I think, is the talent of the artist. I think the engineers have that talent too, but it's important the musician have or has, I don't know the word, but the magical hands to do the music or the sound to be different with the same keyboard with another artist, no? And Jorash, your question is why need of you in the stage? I think all the artists are different. I think. No?
But tell us about your process. What is your process when collaborating with a sound engineer on bringing out what you like?
On stage?
Yes.
Okay. I process all with my car. Yeah, and my voice too. Because when I was work with engineer, it's so difficult to take a reverb in my voice or something like that, because I think sometimes the engineer person, is that the word? Start to play with the reverbs of the delays in my voice, and I don't like that. I think it's an artistic tool, but for me it's strange because I'm not decide when the reverb is or something like that. I think it's that when it's sound check, I think it's important to take that and and there's no problem when the concert or the show starts.
Confirm you're playing at Jacaranda, right? You're playing at Jacaranda. Take us through that process of communicating what you like to the sound engineers. Because he's the sound engineer you're going to be working with.
Okay.
Let's simulate that conversation. Go.
Normally that we do in the States when it's the sound check, but I would like, I don't know if it's in your, with the petaca, okay. I think my show is so easy because I only have 2 jacks, and it's all about 2 jacks because I have all the music processed by me. So it's so easy for the engineers to do my show. I think the difficulties would be most by the noises that the mic take, I think, and the feedback with the PA, the monitors, and I think it's different in my case because it's so easy to. I don't know.
So in other words,
I only one, and I only have 2 jacks. So.
In other words, he knows what he wants.
He knows what he wants.
Okay.
So to come into that, the past 3 years I've developed a way in trying to bridge the gap between the artist, the engineer, right? Because there's a bit failed communication between them. So nowadays, I don't really encourage them to talk together, right? I am the bridge, so the artist talks to me, I talk to the engineer, I'm able to interpret what the artist wants, right?
So you're able to interpret that. I just want it to be clean. Then to him, it's put it on certain decibels.
Yes.
All right.
So I've been working on that because the issue now is people complain. No, we were not hearing well, right? But the artist didn't communicate anything, right? So my job now is to go to the artist and ask, are you hearing well? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? Then I go back and communicate with the engineer, so that there's no that artists, they have this word they use. You were sabotaging me while it's on stage.
Engineer.
Yeah. So now let's say you are in Chitungwiza, right? When an artist say, engineer, you are sabotaging me, the next thing,
you're going to sabotage you.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now? People are going to throw bottles, everything, and the show is now a mess because of someone who has said something on stage. So people are thinking the engineer is now sabotaging the artist, but no, you didn't tell the engineer what you want. So what I encourage artists to do is have your technical people with you. Cutting costs is causing all these problems.
So, in other words, technical people are as important to the band as the drummer.
Yes.
Technical people are as important to the band as the main act.
Yes.
A big part of why this happens is because people don't actually have a technical person who understands the chemistry, the language, the output, the desired output. That's why we're in the spaces that we're in.
I can give you an example. I'm the tech director of the Vine, right? So you are dealing with a moving ship. The Vine is more like an ecosystem on its own. you have 100-piece orchestra, you have 10 band members, you have 16 lead vocalists that are on stage the same time. So imagine the pressure that he's carrying. He wants to make sure that the orchestra sound perfect.
No. Let him just speak about the pressure. Please tell us about the pressure.
I miss you. Yeah. I miss you.
So ultimately there is pressure, yes, but the number one major cause of that is time. We need time to do rehearsals. We need time to do sound checks. But let's say we are to do an event in here. We request maybe we need 2 days of rehearsals and whatever we need to do, technical checks and stuff. But there's a cost to the venue for those days. So we end up doing what needs to be done over a day in 10 minutes. So the pressure is caused, it's a chain. I end up struggling a lot just because of that. And the other thing is that even when you have time, there are artists who don't come for sound check.
No, sorry, your mic cut a bit there. Can you just say it again? What did you say? I think I missed that. Yeah.
There are artists who don't come for sound check. For me, I've worked with a lot of big artists, let's say internationally. They want an hour for sound check.
And they show up.
Or more.
And they show up.
And they show up on time. And here in Zimbabwe, we have artists who don't come for sound check. And they're the ones who complain a lot. So I end up being on pressure. I end up being under pressure just because someone is a diva. They don't think sound check
is Jacaranda David. Don't take it out of context. Don't take it out of context. Yeah, you were saying.
And they don't want to do sound check, and they expect me to do magic to automatically know what they want. So yeah.
So Tatenda, how do you manage? Because you work a lot on the project management side. Like, how do you manage that? Because you have to balance the production, you have to balance the client, you have to balance communicating with Ndelani and the whole team to make sure that the project management is going correctly. But how do you manage that? How do you deal with that?
Okay, so whenever I'm managing a project, I have my requirements for the client, right? Before we go any further. Okay, you have told me what you want, but this is what I want, right? You have, let's say, I'll go back to the Vine. Why? Because it's one of the biggest groups. So the client comes to me, right? The director is Everton Mlalazi. He comes to me. Tatenda, I want to do 1, 2, 3 things, right? I will tell him, okay, you want to do a project in HICC. It's fine. But for this to happen, I need at least a week to set up. We are talking about HICC here. And HICC, they don't care about the number of days you want to use. They can give you, but at a cost, right? So we agree that, okay, you can't give me the 2 weeks I want, but at least try to give me a week so that I will do maybe 2 shifts. The tech guys, they can come in the morning, they can work from 6 to 6, then the other team comes in, they can work 6 to 6 the following day. That will help me to ease the pressure from everyone. So I take most of the pressure, I now take it, right? Then these guys, because they are working on the, let's say they are working on the day, so their pressure, if he mixes bad, the client doesn't go to Endelani. They come to me. I don't allow anyone to go and talk to Endelani while he's on desk, right? He's mixing. You tell me what you want, I tell him. Because, like I said before, there are tensions normally between the artist and the engineer. So, I take the pressure, you fight me, right? Then I go, because he's human, right? At the end of the day, you decide, let's say, to talk bad about him. He can just say, okay, my guy, come and mix, I'm stepping aside. And that's bad for a show. So I try to manage all that. It comes to me, I handle it, then I go and talk to him nicely. Okay, can you adjust this? Because imagine, he has a lot on he's trying to balance this mic, someone is waving, this. And because most of our artists, they don't know how to communicate. I think we need a day for that. They don't know how to communicate because you are higher, right? Yeah, it's your show. You are the owner of the show. The way they communicate.
To give us some examples of how they communicate.
Right. So I have heard this. Like they can say, do you know this is my show? I have paid money for this, right? We know this is your show, right? That's why we are all here, right? But communication is key for to bring out a good production. Step aside, let the guys that know work on it. After that, we can do. We have issues, like he said, of sound check. Most of the artists, they don't come to sound check. They don't. But when they complain, yeah, especially with artist managers, I know a few artists that come to soundcheck, especially, sorry to say, gospel artists, they try. To be honest with you, they try. Soundcheck is at 10, they are there at 10, they do whatever. If we do an hour, but we go to the other side.
When you mean the other side?
The other side, okay, secular music, I can say.
I wanted to be sure.
You have to call the artist manager. Where is this guy? And the mic is being tested.
By
His
the
mic, right, is being tested by, it's either a BV or the manager, right? So it's a struggle. It's really a struggle. At the end of the day, you come now to the service provider. Now you are starting pointing fingers. It's events evolution. Yeah, it's divine concepts. They are the problem. But where were you when this sound check was happening? The guy was sleeping at home.
They're a superstar. I mean.
But it doesn't work. I understand. Samanyanga was a superstar. Those who know Haifa, right? He came for soundcheck. Every show we did with him, Burna Boy didn't come for soundcheck. But because they are using more of stems and a lot of stuff, it's there already in that rake. Yeah, he can.
The other thing with artists here in Zimbabwe is that your manager doesn't know what you want. Your manager doesn't know your sound. So even if the manager is happy when we do sound check with them, when you come, it's a different story. But with other people like Travis Green, he comes for sound check for like just a minute. The rest of the time you're working with his MD. He knows exactly what Travis wants. And whatever he's done, it's going to be perfect for the show. And he's not going to say anything. But with us now, with our local artists, imagine them not knowing what they want. How's the manager going to know what they want? So even if you don't come for sound check, at least if there's a person who knows your sound, it works. That's why you see there's no problems with many artists, like international artists that don't come for sound check, because they have a person representing them that know what they want.
Look, we're going to open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, let us know. There's Idiope, there's Ndelani, and there's Tatenda Rushwaya. All are talking about how we can leverage sound, the evolution of sound, and that whole space to make sure we deliver quality performances, but also that we impact the space differently. Please, yes, we've got questions at the back. I'll start with the two at the back, then we come to the front.
Hi, my name is Josh Mack. So, from the moment I said here, I feel like the artists have been bashed enough. But I also think sound engineers have, they also have mistakes that they do that really irritate us as artists. For instance, if I'm on stage with Burna Boy, if I'm opening for Burna Boy, sound engineers have a tendency to undermine me as a local artist and don't give attention to the specific sounds that I want, probably because Burna Boy's band has done a sound check before me. So if Burna Boy's band sound is good, then I have to follow their sound. If I want to change anything, I've experienced that quite a lot of times when I perform, that sound engineers will tell me that it's okay. Because Burna Boy's sound is okay.
I mean, Baba Mao just sound checks, so you have to be okay.
Yeah, you have to use the same thing. So I think that we also need a platform where sound engineers are educated in that way, that they shouldn't, they should treat artists the same, whether the artist is big or the artist is small. I trust you, I have had so many incidents where even guys who are on stage, who are communicating with the engineer, would literally just ignore what you're trying to tell them, and they rush you before your sound is even great, and because you're Josh, you're not Burna Boy, you know. So it's just a point.
So I'm going to allow them to respond in a second, but we're going to take another question.
Thank you. Greetings. I'm Ashley. I'm not an artist. But I would like to ask. I'm not an artist, but I would like to ask out of interest's sake. Do these mostly local artists aware that they are supposed to do sound checks before the events, before the performances? Are they aware? Because we might think they are aware and we just overgeneralize that, no, they have to come for sound check. But are they aware, all of them, or they need some capacitation in terms of sound check?
One meeting, please. One meeting. Let's have one meeting. Let's have one meeting, please. Let's have one meeting. I'll allow the guys on the panel to respond, and we're going to have our roving mic in the many other places. You guys can respond to both the comment and the question.
Okay. Good contribution here. Right? So the tricky part about all this is there's an issue between the promoter of the show, the service provider, which involves the engineers and whatever. So Burna Boy comes in, the manager says, I want 2 hours of sound check. The manager of Mkomo Wangu, Josh Mack, comes in, right, with the promoter, right? If they don't agree between themselves, the issue of time of sound check, I can't control that, because the promoter and the artist management, they have an agreement that they have, right? I can't go in between and say, okay, sound check, Yamkoma Josh, even though I want to give him 2 hours, I'm not allowed to give him 2 hours because they have a contract that they have signed. I'm not part of it. You see, so it's a challenge, not Yangundega. It's a challenge between the artist manager, par kuno sign that contract. Is he stating what he wants, and they adhering to what he wants? Because ikaita tora Mari United, yongoti right, Maria Uya, ndakutora, ndakuenda. This issue, inoramba tichiblemana each and every time.
Do you know what I'm hearing from a lot of this? We just don't collaborate enough.
Yes.
We just don't, and it's the issue in almost every field. With the first panel, we just don't collaborate enough. The city is not collaborating with the developers are not collaborating with the, and it's the same thing with what you are stating. People are just not collaborating enough.
Yes.
There's just not a sense of ownership where people think that we all own this and we need to make it the best possible event. So if it's sound check, can we collaborate to make sure that the artists show up on time, that they have enough time for sound check, and there's a standard to just say every artist gets 45 minutes of sound check minimum, so that people know that's what happens, and there's a best practice within the industry. And I think it's a word to everyone in this room. Can we collaborate more?
Yes.
And the second question about artists just not knowing.
Okay, so it goes back again. When like now we are setting up for Jacaranda, right? We know from today, starting at 5:30, there's going to be a sound check. It's on paper, it's written. Someone is managing that. So there's communication between Tari and the other guys there. They know who is coming for sound check. And these people have been informed. The engineer, right, or myself, I can't then go to an artist and tell him, you must come for sound check. That's not my job. My job is to make sure the technical part is done. Artists and the promoter now, they have to have that conversation. When is our sound check? Our sound check is key. I like Kim, the manager of Jacaranda. He's always nagging. I want to know what time are we sound checking. If we don't sound check, I'm not coming to the show. That's enough. Because he knows the artist, he wants to make sure that when Jacaranda gets to the stage, he's okay.
We're just going to give a quick minute to Tari. As the festival manager, what are the best practices within this field with some of the issues that are being raised? How do you guys manage it as the festival, and how does it work? Is it clearly stated? What are the processes around your sound check and how you guys manage it?
Okay, so the first part is we have a technical manager for the festival who is separate from Events Evolution. That's our go-between person, and that's Clive. Clive tells us what he needs, and we speak to the artist through our artist liaison. Melody, who's also our stage manager, she makes sure that the artists know exactly what they need on stage. The artists are advised when they sign the contract to also send a rider, a technical rider. A technical rider is what you will need, and a hospitality rider, because you need your sound and you need your hospitality as well. That information is then communicated through our artist liaison, through our stage manager, and through our technical manager. They then are given a time to come for sound check, and because it's a festival, not everyone necessarily sound checks. We prioritize the bigger bands because they are the most complicated. Worldwide, I think that's the practice as well. You cannot sound check every single band. So the priority is given to the biggest sizes. And then the rest will do what we call a line check, which is simply coming in and checking if the lines are working, because chances are it's similar setups. That's pretty much what I don't know if I've left out anything, Melody. She's our stage manager, by the way. That's why I'm pointing to her.
So in other words, your job praisers get to sound check and Van Choga just line checks.
Not necessarily,
I
but
am playing.
no, another thing that I want to point out. No, let me also just point out that we also have relationships with our artists. Remember, we've been talking to them from last year. And there are things that they communicate to us and say, look, this is what we want specifically. And if it's something that they insist on sound checking, we do give them that opportunity. But it's not mandatory.
I was playing, Tari.
For the record.
We're going to take more questions before we allow the gentlemen on stage to give us their closing remarks. And also, so we plug a few things. We're just going to take 3 questions. So we've got one over here. Lincoln, do you still want to ask a question? Over here.
Okay. My name is Keith. Good morning, everyone. So my question is to Events Evolution. And I just wanted to find out, have you managed to strike a balance business side in terms of equipment, latest equipment, investment, and the jobs that you are getting? Because I believe it puts you ahead of everyone if you are investing in the latest equipment, which also allows you to get bookings ahead of everyone. But have you struck a balance? Have you gotten return on your investment? Thank you.
You can answer that question.
Okay. Honestly, with the amount of money we have spent so far in upgrading our gear since the inception of Events Evolution, I can say we haven't. We have spent millions in our equipment. Some they can doubt. I think he can tell you that when the system we have, the sound system we have, we bought it in Germany. Costed I don't know how many millions to bring it here, right? So with the amounts of events we have, maybe per year, those bigger ones, they don't pay as we want, but yeah, we are striving. It's working. Yeah, we are trying, but for us, we are not giving up. We are still investing in buying more gear. Every year, we make sure we keep up with the technology. We buy new equipment. We buy those in-ears, those softwares. We are doing that so that our artists also, when they go outside, they don't get embarrassed. They know they have used this before, so they can use it out there. That's what we are doing.
Lincoln, you have a question. So we're going to go to Lincoln. We're going to come through to Tina. Then we'll close with one more question now.
Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Yeah, good morning. I think the legacy of Events Evolution is quite vast. They've done quite a lot because I've gotten to work with them. Now, my question to you gentlemen is, have you put it on the table to really teach people how? For instance, right now, people are saying, oh, this is happening. But then I think because of lack of collaboration, have you put a foundation, be it a coursework, something that people can come, maybe people can learn more? For instance, you know a lot, but how do you filter that information so that at least whoever is closest to the next person say, how do you get to talk to a person who does sound? How do you get to talk to people like Tatenda? How do I get to use
Lincoln, the question.
Have you put anything in place, or are you thinking of putting anything in place to filter your intelligence down for the benefit of the musicians and artists?
Okay, on that one I would say we have not yet done that, but what we have done is we are collaborating with MSU. This is for technical guys. So every year we take guys from MSU, they come in, we teach them, right? Then they go, their way so that they can teach other guys, other technical guys. But for artists, to be honest, I'll be lying, we have never had this conversation. The conversation I have had myself is with artists that I know, that I'm helping. Like I can tell you, I'm part of Janet Manyoa's team, a technical team. I'm part of the Vine team. I'm part of Eliana Makombe's team. I'm part of Zimpraise. We are trying, by all means, to make sure there is that communication between the service provider technically and the artist.
Tina, you have a question?
Good morning. I have a comment and a question. The first comment is, I know Tari has explained a lot, but I would want them maybe in the future to invite more artists to this platform, because the information that's being shared right here, right now, the people who make these mistakes they were talking about, they're not here. And these things are going to keep going on and happening. So, and then the other thing I wanted to comment to the artists who are here today, I think the information you're getting is priceless. Please use it to your advantage. And you are allowed to have your own sound engineer. You are allowed. If that person may be at a festival, they are not allowed to touch the desk, their
Console,
desk,
yeah.
but they know what you want. Then they can communicate to the sound engineer of the festival. And then the last thing, for the benefit of the artists that are here today, can you please explain what a tech writer is and its use to the artist? Thank you.
So before you answer that, I'm just going to take the last question, then we shut down questions. And my Mbofana, you know what, we cannot shut down questions, I'm sorry. We're just going to have that question and you're going to shut down the question. All right.
Okay. Hi, my name is Latabo Machacha. I used to be a dancer and I used to do a lot with Haifa. But what I noticed, a lot of, there are too many functions, like the engineers, the musicians, like what Profound was saying, we would find that there wasn't a lot of collaboration. And when you would try to collaborate, you become the enemy because you're trying to make things work. But by trying to make things work, a lot of people then suppress you because of that. So I think it's just a change of mindset that when it comes to the arts or the creatives, we're all one. We're trying to go and have one goal. But there's power in impartation. You're an engineer, he's a musician. You guys, when you collaborate, you make money together. So I think we need to shift that mindset of saying, I'm the engineer, I'm the musician, I'm the tech writer. We need to come together, start training together, start having workshops. Where we do not know, we consult each other. That way we can have one mindset, one goal, and one perfection. The reason why a lot of international...
No, you can't do that. you can't do that.
Okay, so my question is... What have you done as the investments company where you come together and actually impart what you have to the other people around you?
That question has already been...
Okay, yeah. So the second question...
No, there's no second question. Thank you so much. We're going to come to Maya Mbofana.
Okay, thank you very much, so Profound, for identifying my little hand in the air. I just want to piggyback on what Keith said, but also then maybe start by saying, with the many artists that we have globally, you've got artists that are performing at different levels. I mean, in terms of their bigness, if I can say that. You have some who their niche or their identity or their brand is to keep it simple. And like I think Idiope was trying to say that he pretty much does all the engineering and the EQing himself, and all you have to do is to plug into his balance. That's him. He likes it like that. And then you've got people like Burna Boy, who obviously there's a lot riding on their brand. There's a lot of people who've invested in that, right? And maybe the reason why artists like Burna Boy then insist on having particular sound equipment or instruments there is because they have an endorsement with a particular brand. So have you tried to engage those brands, for instance? Like if it's Yamaha and we know maybe they've got a house in South Africa and you've got somebody like that and you say, look, we have one of your brand ambassadors coming through. Is it possible? I don't know whether they can donate or give it to you at a subsidized price, something like that.
Or rent.
Yeah.
Or rent the equipment. Please answer that in 1 minute, then we wrap up this panel.
Okay. For us, we have tried, we have done that, but not in sound. We have done that with a lighting company called Chauvet. They give us their products here. For sound, we are working with TW. Then mainly the major issue, it's not for the PA, but the backline. When you come to drum sets, some they are endorsed with DW, some they are endorsed with PEL. Yeah, so we are trying, what we are trying to do now is to have each set in our house. We have a DW, we have a PEL, we have a Yamaha. So it's easier. But wrapping up, there's another issue that is there, that our musicians, especially the band side, they request a keyboard that they have never used before. They have seen on TV, right? Then I bring in the keyboard there, play it. It's there for looks, right? Yeah. So I think we need a time to, like she said, we need to do a conference for this.
I think over the years, as Jacaranda Music Festival and Gomaneo Show, we've always made sure that we do a lot of these technical sessions. So I guess this is something to note, where we have industry breakout sessions where artists can come through, sit down with a sound engineer, best practices, some sit with a visual person, and that kind of thing. Gentlemen, I think you've spoken enough. Thank you so much. The only person I need a closing remark from is Adoipe, who's going to be performing at the Stanbic Bank Jacaranda Music Festival at 2 o'clock from 2 to 2:45 on Sunday, the 6th. If you could just give us your closing remarks and just give us a taste of some of what people can expect for your performance on Sunday.
Okay, let's try. My music is a mix between electronic music, folk, traditional music of my region. I sing and I play guitar. It comes with visuals. We film a documental in mountains of my country. There is an immersive show, I think, because my music have a lot of things of the visuals, and I think it's all together completely show. I thought, so let's see there. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for our panelists. There was Ndelani, there was Tatenda, and of course, Adoipe, who's going to be performing at Jacaranda Music Festival this year, 2 to 2:45. You need to catch his performance so that he can bring something from his home to our home and it can become a happy home. Is that okay? Come on, show them some love as they take their seats. We're going to dive straight into the next panel before we break for lunch. And this one I'm super excited about because some of my most beloved people are part of it. It's a focus on education, capacity building, and training with a more streamlined focus on trying to bridge the gap between academia and industry. Help me welcome from the Music Crossroads Academy, Prudence Katomeni Bofana. From the Midland States University, help me welcome Mrs. Shoko. And from the UZ, the University of Zimbabwe, help me welcome Tina Wachkoka. Ladies, thank you so much for joining this panel. We appreciate you. Well, we can only start this way, that educational institutes exist so that they can feed an industry, right? What are some of the challenges that we have right now from a curricular perspective to just tailoring some of that to the needs of the industry? How's that going? Because I've often heard people say that in almost every industry that institutions are producing students that are not useful in the industry because either the curriculum is outdated, or they're just not moving fast enough, or they're not responding to the needs of the industry. How are we looking with that? Yes.
Thank you. We are at Music Crossroads. I can speak for Music Crossroads. We know we've come to understand that this whole music thing is dynamic. It's not stagnant. We have seen from studying the history that the theory part, we seem to have gotten it locked down. And but what happens is when you churn out the artist into, take out the artist into the field, there is something that's missing. And the one thing that thing is actually the business side to the whole, the art. An artist needs to understand that they are a brand, and when they go out there, they need to treat their artistry as a business. It's a business. So that knowledge is what has been lacking within the institutions. And I know for a fact that at University of Zimbabwe, MSU, even at Music Crossroads, it's something we've diverted into. And we've got those programs now in place to cater for that. And that one subject is quite broad. It's quite broad, but we believe that will definitely encompass and make the artist whole. Yeah.
Can someone just tell the people outside if they are congregating to move somewhere away from the door so that they don't impact what's happening in here? Mrs. Shoga, if we could answer the same question, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I would want to say at MSU, we've got a work-related learning component where students go out and are interns. So from the feedback we get from industry, the main challenge is they complain that our students, they lack the practical component. Our curricula is probably too theory-based. So the balancing the theory side and the practical side is one of the challenges we face with curricula, because being a university, we can't avoid the theory components. There are some modules which are university-wide modules, your IT, your communication skills, your gender studies, research methods, the dissertation. So there are some modules we can't avoid. And even in our music, there are some modules which are theoretical, which is best practice. When somebody's done a degree in music, you are expected to have done such, it's expected that you should have knowledge of such modules like theory of Western music, your ethnomusicology and stuff like that. So the balancing aspect between the theory and the practical component is one of the challenges we have with curriculum. Then also the type of students that we get at MSU, we enroll from the education sector, teachers from primary, secondary, tertiary institutions. We also enroll people who are in the military, the army, the police, the prisons. We also enroll performers, like our Harare school. There are a lot of performers who come for that program. And then the students who are coming from schools. So also trying to cater for the different interests of the wide variety of people we enroll for. Because, for example, if teachers would have certain interests they want from the degree program, performers, the same thing. The guys in the military, they are mostly interested in the brass, your wind instruments and stuff like that. So again, balancing the students' interest in our curriculum, because they come with certain interests. That's one of the challenges we've also faced. Then, of course, lack of funding, facilities, funding for facilities and even the equipment that we use, and also trying to keep up with the rapidly changing trends and technologies. That's also, so it's quite a myriad of challenges that we face in constructing our curriculum.
Tina, what's been the experience along the same lines?
I think these ladies have mentioned most of the challenges, and I have a whole list here of challenges. But one of the biggest that I've faced so far is the type of students that we're getting. We have somebody who's coming from A-level. They were doing Shona, English, and geography. They don't have a background of music. And when you want to teach them that this is a crochet note, you're supposed to write it like this. This is a treble clef. You're supposed to write it like this. And that's a challenge on its own, because they have to understand what that is first. And lately, the universities have introduced the block system. I don't know if you have block system at MSU now, where you're supposed to teach in a space of 3 weeks, and then the fourth week the students are supposed to write an exam. It's a bigger challenge, because with music, you're going to teach a student how to write a treble clef. It might take them a whole week to actually draw the thing. Sometimes you need more time, explain what a treble clef is, what a crochet, what's a quiver, and then put those things into actual practice of performing those things. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have. And resource-wise, I'll speak about UZ. At our department, we don't have the right spaces. You know, I want to teach my students vocals. That means we have to sing. But the spaces that we have sometimes are not designed for that. And we're supposed to share with somebody who's doing media. Media, they're basically discussing, they're engaging. So yeah, that's one of the main challenges.
We have an institution of higher learning that's admitting people who have no foundation of the learning they need to do.
Yeah, that's the challenge. Remember, at the end of the day, it's a business. They want to make money. But since we are now in these spaces, we do talk to our bosses about these things, and we are making plans to fix some of those things. We're thinking of doing bridging courses, because if you want to do music, you can't be stopped. Other way, you'll find a way. And we don't want to lose that student. So we are now making ways of actually making bridging courses, so that when they actually start the actual degree, they have that background.
How different, yes, Member Fani, you can contribute.
Okay, I just want to answer that question from another angle. We do have music in our primary levels. We have music in our secondary levels. And so you do expect that those people are the ones that are going to come into the tertiary space to then continue with music, even with the little bit of information that they have. But I'm going to explain this by giving you an example. At Music Crossroads, for our diploma students, we've got an elective. It's a compulsory elective that's called education. And so, our students have got, the whole idea of how to teach, how to impart, music. And we've got 2 students right now who are supposed to be writing their final diploma, but they're being called by certain schools because even though the curriculum is there for music, but they have not yet prepared their children enough to actually take the grade 7 exam. And so it's panic stations in these schools, And now I've got students out of my class because they have to go, and it's a money game, it's business, So the student goes out there too.
If you can just give me perspective, how different are our institutions here that teach music and equip musicians, like Music Crossroads, like Midland State, like the University of Zimbabwe, as compared to your Berkeley's and all those other? How different is that, for context sake, so that we can see exactly how we can bridge that gap? Because ideally, what they're being prepared for is an industry that they have to serve in, and that's what we want to equip them for. Right. So what is the difference between our institution and those institutions, and where's the link?
Let's start with infrastructure. Like Tina was speaking about, they've started this course at the university, but there's no infrastructure to accommodate, the music faculty. So we need to start there. We need to have spaces where it's built with the right, what are they called? I'll give an example. Like if it's a room for ensembles, it's got to be soundproofed so that your neighbor is not disturbed. Your neighbor could be going on with their horn, practice rooms, structures like that actually accommodate and complement this particular learning discipline. So we need that. We've got the institutions, but I think what's lacking is definitely infrastructure to start off with.
Yeah, just to add on, the difference is here in Zim, we rely on other institutions to do the groundwork, like she's been saying. Like at UZ, we expect you to have a background. That means maybe you have taken a course at the Music Crossroads, then when you actually come for your degree, we start at another level. There's also College of Music, they do that. With the difference now with places like Berkeley, it's a school of music. Yet we are a whole university with different faculties focusing on different things. Berkeley focuses on performers, people who want to be performers only. So it's a school with different things in it. If you want to focus on being a music manager, you may never go into a room where there's theory of music because you may not need it. So the difference is we only focus on the groundwork that's been done by others, and then we take it up. And I hope in the future we will have schools of music.
So right now talking about infrastructure might be a long shot, but I know for a fact we can finesse our curricula to be much more useful to the person who's being prepared for the industry. Is there an opportunity for actual musicians, practitioners to contribute to some of this curricula? And if so, how has that worked out and how is it working out? Mrs. Choka, I'll direct that to you first.
Okay. Yeah, the people from the industry can contribute a lot in terms of if they come as guest speakers, they give public lectures, because a lot of them are role models for our people who are studying music. So if we have somebody like Jacaranda, they come and give a public lecture to our students, it has a lot of impact on them. Then also providing job opportunities and also intern opportunities for those students who want to come and do work-related attachment. So if the people in the industry are forthcoming in terms of taking students as interns and also giving them jobs when they finish their degrees, that's how one way they can chip in. Then also providing career guidance, because a lot of the students have limited knowledge of what the career opportunities that are there in the industry. So if they come and do some kind of mentorship and provide career guidance for students, I think basically that's it.
Well, whilst you're on that, you just gave me an idea. It would be so fascinating to host a music business career day just for students. The many careers within the music industry represented, from public relations, marketing, to publishing, to all these things. And they can plug into that, because someone will never, ever have an opportunity to know how many other careers will be. When you use that idea, don't say I never gave you anything.
I wanted to add on to what she said. I started out as an artist. No music background, nothing. But I had a vision. I've always wanted to be an educated musician, because I didn't want to be in a room where people are being sophisticated and I'm wondering what's happening. So I made it a point that I go to school and figure it out, so that when I'm sitting in a room with intellectuals, I fit in. I sit in a room with artists, I fit in. So I always encourage musicians that don't have some kind of paper to please take it up. It's very important for your own benefit. With the students that I have at the UZ, I try to take them wherever I go. I've been playing a lot at Gawas lately, and my students are the opening acts. And slowly, people are beginning to realize, UZ's got these beautiful students, and they're very good. Next time, they will get their own booking. So when they go to that booking, they ask me, so, ma'am, how do I handle the crowd? How do I sign a contract? How do I speak to the crowd? How do I dress? So that alone is important, because already I'm mentoring while I'm doing the academia part. I think Prudence does the same.
Yes, absolutely. Just giving, those platforms is another way. It's another way of giving a student an opportunity to have a recital. When you're a performing artist, you need to always be, sharpening your skills on a stage. So again, coming back to the infrastructure, if you have a whole school of music, you will definitely have those spaces where performance spaces where students are being encouraged to create performances to just sharpen their skills. So we do that absolutely to just increase the recital performances. Yeah.
So how as the music industry, how can we support efficiently the institutions? Because as an industry, we exist somewhere, but the academia, it seems like there's a gap there. What bridge do we need to build, and how can we support academia in that way that's preparing students for the industry?
I think one thing that she alluded to was having these big artists actually come knocking on our doors to actually conduct master classes and these public lectures. Those are very, very important. Also, the performing spaces, to go into these institutions and scout for that talent, students that can come and actually perform at their venues. I think that kind of engagement is also very important. Another thing, you spoke about how many facets of like jobs that you have within the music industry. You have students that come through to our institutions, and for example, one will say, I want to sing, but God bless her or him, it's not a very good, it's not going to go far. right? But you see the passion, chidor kuchiona, you know, and you can see that it's somebody who can actually thrive, either being a songwriter, period. Then you need to empower them with those tools, how to survive as just a songwriter, or go in and become a stage manager. And there's so many, you know, jobs with opportunities within that. I think that's also quite important. Yeah.
I wanted to speak about the alumni. It's people underestimate the power of alumni. If you are in the Use It alumni, probably from the business side or a law, whatever faculty you came from, the fact that you came from Use It is important. If you are now working at a CBZ bank, they have quite a number of events that happen throughout the year. But if you now go to that person who came from your university and say, oh, you have this event, can we bring our students? They'll do your cocktail. Agree on a fee, or maybe this time we're going to do it for free, but next time we'll discuss. So I think the alumni plays a very important part on helping us grow these things. And also collaborations. We've been talking about collaborations, and I think since yesterday. It's high time we start avoiding gatekeeping. Because the more you gatekeep, we won't change anything. The moment we start to say, okay, Tari can do this. But Tari is now a festival manager, but she started as a guitarist. Okay, in the future, we're going to need more festival managers. So if we collaborate with Jacaranda as Use It, that means for next year, they're going to be training more festival managers, stage managers, people like you.
Are the collaboration channels open with a lot of these institutions to be able to collaborate with festivals like Jacaranda, like all these festivals around? Is it as easy for them to get interns, for example, to just come? I know for a fact Haifa, one of the biggest people who used to intern at Haifa during Haifa were school kids who were on holiday and who loved that experience, and they were allowed to do that, and it was easy for them to do that because the environment allowed them to do that. How easy is it for festivals and event organizers to actually tap into the space where institutions are to get students, for them to have hands-on experience in and around the industry?
Speaking for Use It, I think they are the most engaging. Shoko Festival happened. Use It students were there. Not sure about Jacaranda this year, but I think since we've discussed this, almost every event that's going to happen, Use It is ready to collaborate. That's why we are always talking about MOUs. When we have an MOU with every other institution or company or business, it's easier for us to do these collaborations. We were supposed to do a collaboration with Phenomenal Lighting by Mildred. Unfortunately, we had things that affected that. But we sat down and she said, there is no way you can perform without lights. Every performance needs beautiful lighting just to make it feel, and Mildred and I drafted an MOU for that. So that means if we now have an MOU for lighting, then we're going to do an MOU with Events Evolution. They're going to be training sound engineers, they're training lighting, they're training festival managers. So when the event actually happens, some of those problems that we're facing, we won't have. Because we have interns who are on the ground running and fixing things.
For Music Crossroads, yes. I know I've seen already some here, both junior teachers, alumni, and current students who are part of Jacaranda, and I appreciate that because that's the one partnership we've had, I think, for a good 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. We've collaborated as well with other festivals in the past, Haifa as well, and the Italian festival. We were also a part of that. But we go beyond that. We, you've got trainings and you've got spaces like the Sauti Festival in Tanzania. And we've had, students actually participate in that, and some go actually to learn to be stage managers, at the Access Festival as well. So we're looking not only within Zimbabwe, but looking at other opportunities that our students can be a part of in the region, and looking at the continent as a whole. Yeah.
Now,
sorry, maybe if I could also just add what the thrust that's been taken by MSU. We're not really participating in festivals as such, but our students have got a work-related learning component where they spend a whole year. They find an attachment at some place, some musical place, and they spend a whole year there. So through that, our students do get a lot of hands-on experience, and they are placed in almost every sector, in the studios, in events, management aspects, in the teaching field. So that's one way we have found of trying to make our students get hands-on experiences. Here and there we've tried to also, like I remember there was a year we did, I think it was an Independence Gala with the Ministry of Information. Our students were part of the whole management of the gala in every aspect, from the stage itself, getting the artists to come on time for their performances. So both the students and the staff were involved in that particular gala management. So we learned a lot in terms of hands-on experience. But otherwise, the work-related learning component is, I think, for us, that's the way we try to get our students to be part of, to at least to experience what happens in the industry.
So what are some of the best practices for an institution or an event or anyone who's listening right now? What do we need if we want to collaborate with an institution of higher learning like the MSU or UZ or an institution like Music Crossroads? What do we need? Do we need to write a letter? Do we need to make a phone call? What do we need? Is there a track record? What is it? Because there's so much structure happening over there, and sometimes for the places where the music resides is not as structured as that is. How do we collaborate? What are some of the best practices? Give us tips so that we can just put it all here, then we can understand that if we want interns, this is what we do.
Well, for us, we are actually looking for interns. I mean, for places to place our students. So, like of late, the students are finding it very difficult to get internship places. We used to, as a department, look for attachment places for them and actually advise them, because there are some who would not, for example, be suitable for the sound engineering. Some might want to go to teaching, and it's not appropriate for them to do that. So previously, we used to actually find placement for them, but because the industry is shrinking, they just find places for on their own. So as people in the industry, if you wanted students for internship, you simply write to the department or communicate with our chairperson in the department. We'll be very glad, because our students are finding it very difficult to get attachment places.
This is a good time to plug in that email or the name of the department so that we can know what we're writing to. So if you give us an email or a phone number or something, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Our department is called the Department of Music Business, Musicology and Technology at MSU. So if you wanted the details, I've got a flyer I don't know how I can give out the flyer. It's a soft copy of the details with all the emails and phone numbers.
We'll also try to put it in our stream so that people can check that out who are watching online and keeping tabs on the conference. What about the user? What do we need? How can we plug in if we want interns? And
we have an open door policy at our department. So you can simply walk in. Our chairperson is always, mostly she's there, and I'm her minion. So if you don't find her and you have something concerning that that's got to do with our degree program, I'll be there to help. And the other thing is, if it's not just music that we do at our department is called Creative Media and Communication. So we do have students that are doing TV, radio, theater, media, and music. So it's a whole basket of things. So if you know that you are a musician, you've got that background already, but you want to venture into film and TV, these things go together. We can still come and help you figure it out how to do it. We have an open door policy. You can come in anytime.
Do you have an email or something that we can?
Unfortunately, I don't know it by hand.
All right, that's fine. I'm sure when people are networking,
yes,
you can
definitely
hand that out. I've also given a guest lecture when Rumbika Teza was taking media and stuff, and I gave a guest lecture on radio. It's quite an impressive department. And Maimbofana.
Well, I'm happy to say that right now we have a beautiful relationship with Alpha Media, Heart and Soul TV. So we already have students that are going and showcasing their talents there. We would like to have more of that engagement with other, institutes and corporates as well, because we believe that our students can actually rise to the occasion. We actually had a performance. We were invited to a gala night by Mr. Trevor Ngube, and the entertainment was from Music Crossroads, and we had a very good feedback from there. I definitely would love to have more people who reacted positively to those artists to come to our institution and engage us more. It's an open door policy, just like Tina said, and I know we had once upon a time a partnership with Events Evolution, I think when they were starting, and our best sound engineering students would actually go on attachment with them. I'm not quite sure what then happened along the lines, but I'm really hoping that we could re-engage that, and of course with other media partners as well. To get a hold of us, we are obviously on Facebook, Music Crossroads Academy Zimbabwe. Because there are three of us, you've got to make sure you put Zimbabwe there, because there's one in Mozambique and there's another one in Malawi. My email, I'm happy to share maybe during the networking time. Yeah.
We're going to open the floor for questions for Maimbofana, Mrs. Shoko, and Tina. We've got a lot of hands raised at the back, but we will start over here, then we go to the back.
Okay, thank you. My question comes to the institutions. There is a board, an examining board for music that is infiltrating in high schools. It's called the London College of Music Exams. What that does is that it is being introduced in Group A schools. That is Peterhouse, St. George's College, Hellenic, Shed, and John's, whatever. A lot of the musicians that are coming from Music Crossroads, MSU, and UZ, they have to first get that LCM exam in order for them to then align themselves with the teaching program. what is it that institutions are also doing to align themselves with that that narrative and also that governing board of exams? Because after
Question.
doing...
Stick to the question.
Oh, yeah.
Stick to the question, yeah. What is the question?
The question is, what is it that music institutions are doing to sort of put a music examining board for high schools so that people don't go to that LCME?
I believe it's there already under, is it HEXCO or ZIMSEC? There's already something within the high schools. My issue or my problem is that when you get to the tertiary level, it would be nice. It's wonderful for the universities because, of course, they've already got the accreditation. But, like, for instance, Music Crossroads, in as much as a lot of its work is being seen in the music industry, locally and internationally, but we're still fighting for accreditation. Our curriculum has already been accepted by the Ethiopian Education Ministry, and you actually can sit for that exam. And once you've got that, you can teach in any school, be it A school, B school in Ethiopia. What I like about our curriculum is it has a strong and unapologetic bias to African music and art and musicians and artists. When you do that, you know that your musician, the musician that you're nurturing within Africa, within Zimbabwe, has not lost their identity, does not want to be the next Beyonce, does not want to be the next Jay-Z, but wants to be whoever they are, whoever they're supposed to be from Zimbabwe. I know I digress a little, but I just thought I'd drop that in there.
Yeah, maybe just to also add to what she said, we already have in the high schools and in the primary schools, there is an examining body, ZIMSEC, and they offer a music exam. So ZIMSEC is doing, I think the curriculum is called VPA or something like that. So if that, you said London, whatever, is penetrating, but I think the wider accepted examining body in Zimbabwe for music is ZIMSEC.
Yeah, adding on again, I think it's a matter of preference for A schools. They have standards they want. So I don't think in Zim you are forced to stick to a certain curricula. That's why they're opting for other things. So it will come back to us, maybe as bigger institutions, to review our own curriculums so that they fit into what these schools want. Remember, we're now living in a globalized situation. Things change on a daily basis. Now we have AI. You can teach you to do things that you couldn't do 5 years ago. So again, it will come back to revisiting curriculums. What does the industry need? What can we fix? What can we change?
So we're going to have two questions. One, I see Scott over there. I see Kim over there. And I think we're going to come to... No, wait. We're going to come to someone over there, then we wrap it up.
Good day. From a traditional cultural standpoint, it's always been a killing task to get parents or guardians to let free their children into the music space. What can be done? What do you think can be done to educate or assimilate parents or guardians into the importance of music foundations from grassroots level? Thank you.
Okay.
that one is it's a tough one, and it's a problem we are facing as music institutions. There are a lot of kids who want to study music, but the hiccup or the stumbling block are the parents or their guardians. So if I can give you an example, for example, we've had students who wanted to study music, quite a number of students, and the parents didn't want them to do that, so they did the program that the parents wanted them to do. Okay. When they finished, then they told the parents, there is your certificate, I'm now going to do what I've always wanted to do. So they will come and do music as a second program. So the aspect of attitudes from parents is still a problem, and I'm not quite sure of what can be done, because that's it's a problem. I think that has come from the days when music was.
But those were also the days when Maimbo Fana was very young in the music business. Maimbo Fana.
True. I want to take this as a glass half full, because when I was doing it, it was looked down upon by many, you know. I was blessed that my mom, both my parents came from a musical background. They only struggled in terms of trying to make sure that I don't get the nasty comments from the world. So they would support, but to a certain extent, and try and encourage me to do academia. But we've gone quite a bit. We have parents that come through and they're like, my child is gifted in this, and we would like him or her to take on this program. Please let us know the type of job opportunities that they will get from this. So I think we've really come a long way. There is still a lot of fighting that's to be done, you know, or maybe proving. You could say proving. And I think it will come from the type of artists that we have now and how they run their business, so that they're not put in that category, you know, kind of thing, because that's what we grew up on. You know?
So I really need to wrap up this session. We're only left with 3 minutes, so I'll only allow one question.
Can I just add to what she said?
The responsive in short.
I'll be quick. What I've been doing in my community. For my master's, I did applied ethnomusicology. What it means, you are applying the problems that you faced, and then you're not actually doing it. So in my community, at my house, every Saturday morning, I do music lessons for free. That's the only way I found useful.
What is your address?
988 Unity G, Kuchi Tungwiza. Well, it's quite far.
If you want music lessons for free on what she's doing to solve the problem, see Tina Ochkoka. We're going to take a question over there and we'll wrap it up completely.
All right, thank you. My question is that as institutions, what are you doing to complement each other? Because you find a student from Music Crossroads has his or her strength.
No. We got the question.
We got it.
Yeah.
What are you doing to complement rather than compete?
I'm pleased to say right now, when we're talking about it with Tina before we came on stage, we actually have an MOU with the University of Zimbabwe. So if any of our students in completing, the diploma program, and they want to further their studies, they actually can approach the University of Zimbabwe, and I believe they can waive a few courses, and then they can continue and get a degree, a bachelor's, and even go up to master's. I think I saw one of my students who in the audience who's going to be doing that, but I can't see her now.
We love that. We have to unfortunately wrap this up because lunch is ready, but what is even more ready is Janet, who's on standby. She's got some awesome stuff she wants to tell us from Stanbic. May we put our hands together for Prudence Katumeni Bufana, Tina Wachkoka, and of course Mrs. Shoko from Midland State University. And may we please welcome from Stanbic, Janet.
Okay, afternoon, everyone. What's the tech team there beaming up my presentation? It'll be very short. So my name is Janet, for those who were not there yesterday. We look after enterprises at Stanbic. Enterprises, these are sole proprietors, SMEs, and individuals who wish to develop their talent. So, okay, just a moment. So today I have Paida Moyo Zerutwe. Maybe you can just stand up so that people can see you as well. Is she in the room? Oh, there she is. So we'll be co-hosting the presentation as well. Whilst he's sorting out. So for enterprise banking, we are found at corner 6th and Herbert Chitepo, where the Stanbic incubator is. Paidamoy is our key person for the incubator. For the incubator, what happens there, it's a co-working space for those people who have businesses, do not have offices, and we offer a variety of services at the incubator as well. Okay, so my presentation will be quite short. So the first thing is that should an artist solely focus on art? As a financial advisor, there are many philosophies that are there. It indicates that most of the artists, they are supposed to focus to be hands-on. Even though it's a talent, don't treat it as a talent. It is an entity, it is a business. So your hands should be on that business. So artists should work in partnership with the business manager and who are responsible for the non-creative aspects of the work. This allows the art to focus more on creating, which was illustrated from yesterday discussions and even today discussions. So, however, there is a way in which the artist can focus on creating whilst having an appreciation of business and admin side of things. So the bank is part of the admin sides of the business as well. So for an artist to think what to consider when doing a business, it's whereby they have to seek three things that are there. It's either that the business, is it feasible, is it desirable, and is it viable? In terms of feasibility, do you have correct systems that are in place? Do you have to make it sustainable? As in, like, it's not a talent as of today, and then only it remains today, but it should be for the foregoing future. So you understand that I'm not saying that there are some. So there are some other artists that create a certain thing, but they're only using their talent. But in terms of foreseeing themselves in the future, they don't have that vision. So there is also need to have a vision on that. Desirable, your market, is it the correct market that you're targeting as well? And viable, is it viable? How much is it? What is going towards the business? What is the distribution network? All these things should be put in plan. Why I'm saying this, as a financial advisor, you should have a viable, bankable plan. Even though there is a talent, but you need to build up your proposals. So as Stanbic Bank, what do we do for artists? We appreciate the role of music and artists that have on the society. Artistic works form consciousness and detects trends and language. Our role is to assist artists achieve economic and financial success, whether they are performing or visual artists. We have products and services that focus on you as an individual and as a business as well. So our promise as Stanbic Bank is that there are moments that matter to each and every customer that we have. The first one is that the customer comes and say that, help me start my business. How do we start your business? It's through onboarding. help me conduct my business more efficiently. We put in systems that assist you with your day-to-day operations, that will assist you with your financial side, rather than having someone or just ignoring that part as well. And then there is one which we say that the customer says, help me grow and scale up my business. Growth is very important. You can't be stagnant in one part. We need you to have to look back to say that, okay, when I started my business as an artist, I was at this point. Now I've grown to A, B, C, D. So the several products that we have, or solutions that we say, we have transacting solutions. Those are your business accounts. We have your lending. That is whereby we give you loans or seed loans for various projects. There is also need for you to save. Savings, it's the culture that we don't have. It can be issues of economic conditions, but one should have those savings traits as well. There is insurance. How many of you are insured? Your voices. It might seem like it's from the developed world that they insure their art, they insure their voices, because the moment you lose your voice, right, or your art, there is some liability that will come through. So there is also need to ensure that. There is an issue of forex allocation, foreign currency, which will enable you. Some have raw materials that are out of the country. Some need specialized equipment that cannot be produced locally. So we are there also to assist that. In terms of trade is not limited in Zimbabwe. You have to trade with other countries. For those who have art that they need to export, art they need to import, we are also a platform that can assist you to do that. There is digital and physical distribution model. So apart from that, from those products that we have, the following are the value-added solutions that can happen. Instead of you going out in the field doing your stock ordering, you can do it online. There is issues of loyalty and rewards for our customers. We have products that do so as well. We have access to marketplace, like what I had just highlighted, that there is trade. Trade for Stanbic Zimbabwe, we have what we call Africa-China import solution, whereby we are in partnership with Guamao. Guamao is a company called Zhengjiang, and it's also traded as Guamao, which is more of it has a database of over 10,000 suppliers that we can link you with, also other affiliates, local affiliates like Zimtrade, that will assist you to do either importation or export of products. And then we have wallet payments. I think some of you have had some commercials of a product called Unayo. You have it. It's also something that we have. We can also facilitate government payments. Your integration with TAMS, whereby you don't need to go to Zimra, pay your Zimra whilst you're in the office. And also, I think this one is a very important product that I needed to highlight to you today. It's called e-commerce and m-commerce. For those who have customers that they source outside the country, they need to do payments. You can't invoice them and then give them an invoice, then do a transfer something. So it's something which can integrate your system that you have at the office, and then people can pay for your services. So the first one is that the merchant doesn't need to have any integration work. The merchant just needs internet connection and access to the merchant portal, generate payment links and email them to their customers. What we are referring to a merchant, it's your business. You are the business that generate this. So there's a small video, it's about 1 minute. So just pay attention so that you can understand what the product does.
Stanbic Bank's e-commerce gateway is the simplest, fastest, and most affordable solution for your online business. Our secure and user-friendly platform lets you accept payments easily. Stanbic Bank e-commerce gateway offers a smooth, hassle-free payment experience for your customers, boosting your sales and reputation. And the best part, Stanbic Bank e-commerce gateway charges competitive transaction fees. Integrate Stanbic Bank e-commerce gateway into your website or online store with ease and choose from our flexible integration methods. Pay by link. This is a payment method where merchants generate unique payment links and send them to your customers for making purchases. Hosted payment page. This is a payment method in which the customer is redirected to a secure payment page hosted by Stanbic Bank. Hosted session. This platform provides the infrastructure and tools for merchants to sell their products or services online and host the entire e-commerce process, including website creation, payment processing, inventory management, and order fulfillment. Contact our dedicated merchant support team today at Merchant Support Zim at stanbic.com. Stanbic Bank.
Okay, so that was the product that we really can, so that you can join the bank and understand as well. I had highlighted that we have the incubator hub. I know that many questions will come around the issue that how can we access financing to artists or your businesses. So we have programs that we run in partnership with various partners that will also assist you. So incubation, it's whereby we say that yes, you have what it has to be an artist, but we need you to go through certain programs when we know that you are ready for for funding, and then we can be able to extend you. So I would like to all of you just to visit our social media handles. There are programs that are always posted on that platform. We had Rise Above the Noise, right? Which was a project which went through, and the graduates graduated in June this year. So they had an opportunity to go through the training, right? And then they had opportunity to get access for finance to their products. So yeah, basically that's what I had today, and thank you very much for your time. Yeah, thank you. Oh, okay. So we have a table outside there where the business people that are there, so that you can write down. You can give us your details, and we pursue account opening. Account opening, it depends. If you're an individual, yes, you are welcome. You can join us under our personal markets. If it is a business, you have not registered, you have your tax clearance, we'll onboard you as a sole proprietor as well. And those companies that have been formed as an association, a trust, private business corporation, a private company, you're also welcome. We'll take you through the account opening process. So please, if you have a chance, if I say if you have a chance, I'm giving you a choice, please pass by the table so that you can be registered and join Stanbic as a customer. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, today, okay, thank you, Arnold. So if you have any questions, how many questions are we allowed, Arnold? 3 questions. If there is anyone who has a question, those who have revolving mics, can you give Paida one?
So this is Paida. If you have any question, or we can say you save the questions for the table. Yes? Yes. If yes, say aye. Aye.
Many questions, please be kind on me.
Good afternoon, and thank you for listening to our presentation. So if you have questions around financial literacy, your wellness as a business individual, as a company, also looking at, ideation in other fronts which are not artistic related, to understand anything to do with basic financial services, banking, and just financial literacy and how to run a solid business, do come through and see us, and also visit our incubator hub. We've got alumni here who constantly come to our hub and have received support from us. So happy to assist more artists. Thank you so much.
Put your hands together one more time for Paida and Janet from Stanbic Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, lunch is ready outside, but I just want to make this very clear that we're giving priority to people who registered. So if you registered, please make sure you go get your meal ticket at the back. Then after the people who registered first have gotten their meal tickets, then all of us can join in and be part of lunch. This is why we wanted you to register when we put the call out. Before I just release everyone for lunch, I'm going to call the good people from the National Arts Council for just a quick 2 minutes to tell us exactly what we can expect from their table. We made it happen yesterday. They are here. What they can expect from their table, how they can assist you. This is Aganya Binde. Please show him some love as he...
Hello, good people. I'm happy to see all of you. My name is Aganya Binde. In my other life, I'm an artist, but today I'm here representing the National Arts Council. And as promised yesterday by the director, we are here to listen to you, to answer to most of the questions that you have about our operations as the National Arts Council. So please feel free to pass through our stand outside during your lunch. We talk about the NAMA Awards, how you can apply, why some of you have not won before. By the way, I'm not one of the adjudicators, so it's some of the processes that will explain to you who is chosen and why are they chosen, and how you register as an artist, as a promoter. So the rest of the stuff we can discuss. I know when people are hungry, you need to say less. Thank you.
And also, we've got the good people from ZBC in the building. Farah at the back, can you just wave? I'm sure they want to talk to you. They have a story running for this good thing happening. So please, if they ask you for an interview or to just say something, please be kind to them. They are running a story on the conference. Go enjoy lunch. Don't forget to collect your meal ticket outside and network and connect with everybody. We're here at exactly 1:50 for the final session.
Ringateka ntombile bayangena lomuya